Very warm welcome from Hollywood Bets Kenilworth for day 2 of the Cape Racing Summer Festival. But it's also day 1 of grade 1s here in Cape Town, featuring the famous world sports betting Cape Fillies Guineas. Really looking forward to all of the action. There are 10 races on the card, and preview show here with Mark van Deventer and Michelle Ricks to chat about the 10 races on the card, hopefully guide punters in the right direction and pick the brains of Michelle and Mark and what could potentially be winning all 10 races on the card. First and foremost though, let's start with ladies. Michelle, thank you so much for your time. Obviously Kenilworth, Hollywood Bets Kenilworth reopened last Sunday for the Cape Punters Cup. I know you didn't have runners, but I know you had a good time. How good a time was it? How impressed were you?
Yeah, you know, it's not often we'd come to races we didn't have runners, but we couldn't have missed the opportunity of Kenilworth reopening, and my goodness, it was certainly gave us the feeling of stepping into a new world and set the scene for the season ahead.
And then Mark van Deventer's here as well. Mark, I mean, you've been coming to Hollywood Bets Kenilworth, Hollywood Bets Durbanville, Milnerton. We were chatting off air about your memories at the now defunct Milnerton Racecourse, which is obviously still a training centre. What were your impressions of day 1?
Sure, just a metamorphosis here, Alistair. The facility has been utterly transformed, you know, from a desolate plant to just a high-class racing experience. That's an amazing turnaround.
And this, you know, we've now set the scene, but this is the real start. The grade 1s now begin. Also not forgetting the World Sports Betting Greenpoint Stakes. That, you know, is a cracking renewal. Overall, thoughts of the card?
High quality. Will be a big challenge for punters, you know, having a go at the R6 million pick 6, because many of the races are deceptively difficult, deep fields, so we're really going to have our wits about us to get through the card intact, but it's characterized by high quality horses.
Nothing like a challenge. Obviously Michelle's got 2 runners in the grade 1, which we'll address in just a moment. Let's start off at 12:05 with the World Sports Betting supports the Equine Trust maiden juvenile plate for fillies over 1,000 metres. Of course, the second juvenile race here in Cape Town. The first one was won by Glenn Cotson, Sweetie Darling, just a few days earlier. He's got number 3, Whistle the Tune, but I want to start with Michelle because Michelle's got number 1, Sorceress Supreme, with Richard Ferree on board. What's the report card with this daughter of Iraq? What's the expectations?
Well, you know, to have the likes of Richard secured on your filly is a plus. He did gallop her and subsequently wanted the ride, which obviously gave him the feeling that I wanted him to feel. And you know, it's always difficult with these baby races. You think you prep them to a certain degree, and they get to the course, and sometimes, you know, things happen. They new surroundings, but she's a very smart filly. She's a very mature filly, and I think that will give her the edge amongst her companions here. And you know, you can never look past the likes of the others. You've got to look at breeding and quickness. But you know, I think on her final sprints up this morning, I'm feeling pretty confident. And you know, Richard gave me that feedback that I wanted to hear, and I think she'll be a big runner.
What's your general style on 2-year-olds? I mean, obviously, if they come early, no trainer's going to hang back with the various incentives that are on offer. But do you let them tell you, or is it an idea that, oh, Rick's Crawford, we've got to get them ready as soon as possible?
No, I do tend to give them as much time as needed. But as I said, this filly was super precocious, and she's got a real level head on her, and she's kind of, you know, brought herself on in a way, and has told us she's ready to have a crack at this.
Mark, what's your idea of race number 1? Obviously, blank canvas.
Yeah. The first is always a tough one to call. You tend to look at the market trading volumes and have a look at them in the prelims. So yeah, peruse the pedigrees. That can sometimes provide a clue, but I'm probably not going to be able to add a great deal of value in this one, Ali.
Let's watch them go down to the start in race number 1, Form and Opinion. Not part of the exotics. Is the first of the afternoon. Race number 2, which runs at 12:40, is the start of the exotics, the start of the bipod, the Woodhull Racing Syndicate maiden plate. They go 1,200 metres, nice big field for you to sink your teeth into. And as Mark said at the top of the show, deep fields. Here's the start of it. Mark, some interestingly bred horses. We've got Winchester Mansion's half-brother. We've got Desert Miracle's half-brother. There's another very well-bred baby in here as well that could speak volumes in this race. So, what direction are you taking in the opening leg of the bipod?
To me, the best form belongs to Trippy Silk. A very good run from draw 13 out of 15 behind All About Ronnie. Got a solid enough speed figure, and prior to that, also good effort to Hat's Pride, who's won a few since then. So Trippy Silk would be my top pick in the second.
Michelle, quite a lot of unknowns in this race. When I say unknown, but no surprise when you open up a card in Cape Town, especially at this time of the year, it's a lot of maidens, well-bred maidens, where I suppose punters need to have their wits about them.
That's it, you've got to, I think, in any meeting, especially a meeting like this, you have to dig down deep and study your form correctly. There is an increase in field sizes now, which also makes it a little bit tricky. And that's it. I'm sure if you do your homework, and you study your form correctly, you've got to be in with a shot.
On we go now to race number 3. This is the Freeman Stallions maiden plate of a 1200 metres. First leg of the place accumulator at 1:15. And as you'd expect, much like race 2, big field here, Mark, with lots of form. Even those with sort of middling form bring some strong form lines into the picture. How do you read it?
Well, there's an unraced one here, Alistair, that is of great interest, the Real Prince. Give me the green light, X Real Princess. So that really is a potent pedigree. So I'll definitely be checking that one out closely. But of those with exposed form, Kopse Klopse, I think maybe best. Ran second to Tanango, racing handy at Durbanville, and then came from off the pace at its next start and was just beaten narrowly by Big Unit. And the Sands Free combination is a high percentage duo.
Michelle, you got no runner in race number 3, but I do want to ask you from a trainer's perspective, big field, down the straight, obviously draws are only done after declarations here in Cape Town. What would you prefer to see next to your horse's name, low number or high number?
Alistair, I think the course has had a good enough break now that it will be running even. We tend to worry about the draws like towards the end of a season where the going differentiates from the inside to the outside. But I think up the straight now, being back at the course for the first time in a while, I think it's going to be pretty even, and I think you'll have a good luck of running either inside or outside draws.
Very interesting third race indeed, because I think the winner of this race could be onto something. And you look at the first timers, we've got the half brother to Melech, a well performed horse with Roy Magner and Joburg, holding thumbs, who was a beautiful looking yearling, and as Mark and Michelle allude to, the Real Prince, who was obviously the brother to Give Me a Prince. Now let's go on to race number 4, the start of the pick 6. 6 million rand is the target in the pick 6 pool. The Drakenstein stud maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1,600 metres. Again, a big field, but the horse who stands out is trained by the lady on my right, Awe Kazi, Richard Faree for the Hollywood Syndicate again. How's her spirits going into this?
She was a slight filly, and I've always thought a lot of her. We took her to Durban. She didn't travel very well, and I spoke to Anthony, and he said, what, Michelle, let her have the summer there. And it really helped her furnish, and she's only gotten stronger and stronger with every run. We have galloped her in between. And last time I thought there was, she would have been very hard to beat. But, she didn't have a good draw. You have to use yourself at Durbanville, and I think coming back or having her first run at Kenilworth, she'll be ridden the way that she wants to, come from off them. And Richard's given me confidence again with her work this morning. And I'd have to stick my neck out again with her, and I think she's a big runner.
Mile, no worries?
Not a chance, 100% with that.
Mark? Can we start off with a banker in this race? I mean, listening to what Michelle said, or are there a couple that you're worried about?
Yeah, I wouldn't be as bold, Michelle, but so I would have a few backups. Though Kwawakazi would be my top pick, but I'd feel more comfortable having a few alternate selections. 1, 2, 6, and 8 would be the others that I would add in. Devilishly Gorgeous, who stayed on nicely in a race behind Bright Duchess. Give Me the Limelight. Should get the run of the race here. And she finished ahead of that one in that same form line. St. Bridget is eligible to make significant improvement. And as we'll discuss later, I'd really rate Japanese Rose highly. And I think Two a Penny is another who should get a good trip. Chatted to Corne Orfa after its last start, and he reckoned that she would definitely benefit returning to a more galloping track like Kenilworth. Maybe prefers a little bit further, but I think Two a Penny is going to run a pretty forward race.
I like what I've seen from Awe Kazi thus far. So again, another form line that could very well be valuable going forward. Race number 5 was the start of the first jackpot, WSB.co.za Southern Cross Stakes, a grade 2 over 1,000 metres. And now we really get into the quality throws of the card. A field of 14 to face the starter. Mark, we've got the laissez-faire winner in the form of Baltic Secret, potentially got away with one last time, reopposing with October Morn. Do you think that form will stand up?
I think the form will stand up, Alistair, but I can definitely see the result reversed. October Morn was very stiff, got held in a pocket going through the 300 and then accelerated incredibly sharply. But for that inconvenience, would probably have beaten Baltic Secret. But Baltic Secret is a very, very talented speedball, so I would retain great respect for her. When I studied the form closely, I thought that it was between October Morn and Kiss Me Captain. In fact, they ran together on the same day when Kiss Me Captain was really impressive, surging past Countdown. And Kiss Me Captain's winning time and also the finishing fraction was a tiny bit faster than October Morn. So I don't think there's going to be much in it, though obviously October Morn has got tremendous scope. But I think those would be the three to focus on, and my order of preference would be October Morn over Kiss Me Captain, then Baltic Secret, and maybe the Grey Filly, Oni Sun, can sneak into the fray as well.
There's something about it, Michelle. I just want to ask you from a trainer's perspective, being a trainer that's travelled to Joburg with Kwame Didin, obviously you went to Durban from Joburg rather than coming back to Cape Town, but a lot of upcountry trainers talk about a flat spell that they might have. Kiss Me Captain, obviously full value for a win in the Southeaster Sprint from the Azzy stable. Do you have any experiences of flat spell in your travelling around the country?
Yeah, well, I experienced that flat spell going from Cape Town to Joburg with Comet, and he's just a horse that didn't enjoy it at all. I can say it's the same from my point of view. But yeah, the minute we got back down to Durban, it did lift him up.
We're in good company in Durban.
That I must say. Yes, I was. But no, I don't think it would be a problem at all. And, Mike and Adam are seasoned trainers. They relish in the sprint races, and they've done it before with the likes of National Currency, and I don't think it would be a problem at all.
Okay, well, that's sort of the feature races, but now we really get into the main course. It might be a grade 2, the title of the World Sports Betting Greenpoint Stakes over 1,600 metres, but look at the quality on offer. We've got the reigning horse of the year, Princess Calla. We've got the unbelievable talent of Charles Dickens, and probably pound for pound the best weight for age horse in the country in the form of See It Again, not forgetting El Matano, who famously turned over Charles Dickens in the Lomoral King's Plate around 11 months earlier. What a field, Michelle.
Oh, it's incredible, I promise you. It's something that makes you stand out, and I think it's the draw card of Saturday's race meeting.
Do you have a suggestion in this race? I'm going to get to Mark in a moment. I know you don't have any runners, but when you look at it, Princess Calla's had the run, See It Again had the run in Durban. Charles Dickens already won the Hollywood Bets Match'em Stakes, so you'd suggest that neither of them coming in here underdone, but still with a bigger picture of the Lomoron King's Place and the World Sports Betting Cape Met ahead.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Charles Dickens he's simply incredible. But I actually am leaning a little bit towards Princess Calla, purely on her versatility, and she's as gutsy and game as they come, and that would be my choice.
Mark, what do you make of it? Because, if you took Princess Calla and all her performances out of the picture last year and, had See It Again, won the Hollywood Bets Durban July, likely to have gone in as Horse of the Year, and then likewise Charles Dickens, if he ended up winning another Grade 1, he could have ended up being Horse of the Year. So as far as Greenpoint Stakes are concerned, that famous finish here about 5 years ago between Undercover Agent, Legal Eagle, Rainbow Bridge and Do It Again, if we get two of these great names fighting out here, you would have got your money's worth.
Yeah, no, that was spectacular, that finish. My pick would be Charles Dickens because he's been running some off-the-chart figures. But I did note what to me is too much of a discrepancy in the betting, admittedly anti-post, but I don't really see why Princess Calla should be 7-1 and Charles Dickens 4-10. I mean, that's a differential 20-fold. And there's not that difference between them. Charles Dickens most probably will win because of his absolutely unbelievable turn of foot. Princess Calla, however, is a serious adversary. So I would put them a little bit closer than what the betting indicates. I'm sure many exotic players will be justified in bankering Charles Dickens because he is formidable over a mile. And then a few tiers back, I would have the likes of Al Mutana. See It Again in my book is absolutely outstanding over middle distances, but I think he may find a mile a bit sharp for him. And then there's also a personal interest through my management responsibilities with Rascalian, who is working very well and should give a good account of himself, but also may find this just a bit on the short side, and this is a build-up run for the season.
Just quickly talking about build-ups, Mark. The first entries for the World Sports Betting Cape Met were published this week. Anti-Post, see it again. Is he the horse that we need to watch going forward into the Met?
Yes, yeah. To me, he looks like a potential Met winner in waiting, because some of those performances that he made during the KZN season, when he was toting heavy weights, were really of the highest order.
All right, so let's get into the Grade 1 now. The World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas, race number 7 on the card, over 1,600.
That's it, and he does rear his head when it comes to these big races. He does have the BMT, so we were very fortunate that we got the phone call. Yeah, she's a filly that probably shouldn't have gone to the front last time. She won her Grade 2 coming from off them, but with the running at Durbanville the way it has been, she had to get up there, and it just didn't work out in her favour.
In Secret Identity, she's got it, but she doesn't always put it in. The best version of Secret Identity, very dangerous, but which version are we going to get on Saturday?
Well, that's it. She's a filly that everything has to go her way in the race. She's a temperamental filly, and she shows everything at home, but as I said, everything has to go her way. If it does, I do think she could be a strong runner, but it'll be out of my hands once they leave the parade ring.
Mark, what do you make of it? Because you think of Mark de Kock's record in these Grade 1 races. He's very much a hit-and-run type of man when it comes to Cape Town. Silver Sanctuary won the Syringa last time off a lightweight. I mean, now it's the big league, but she's got something about it, being the full sister to Safe Passenger and second in the Betway Summer Cup a week earlier. And then others, Raskova, full value for the win in the Western Cape Fillies Championship, double Grand Slam. Looks like there's plenty in her favour. So which way are you going?
Intriguing race, Alistair. It really is. It's a very deep field. I'm going to angle towards Candice Bass-Robinson's fillies. She spoke months ago about the lovely youngsters that she had, in her care, and I think Beach Bomb and Red Palace are serious runners. Beach Bomb has impressed me from the outset with her turn of foot. And the way in which she won in the mud here in the middle of winter, over 1,500, suggests to me that she'll enjoy a true run mile. And I think the pace is going to be on here, because there are a lot of horses in the lower half of the field who've done well leading or going handy. So if Aldo Tomeo can position her midfield and then maybe tee her up for a big finish, she could be the right one. It's a nice sort of each-way touch at around 8-1. Red Palace has taken a while to come to hand, but was massively impressive when she won last time by 3 lengths. Just sort of freewheeled it. She could have won by 13. So those would probably be the top 2 for me to focus on, but I also have immense respect for Double Grand Slam. She'll get the run of the race. She's got versatile running style, and she's got huge upside potential. You mentioned Mike de Kock's filly. I think she's rock solid. She's sure to be in the fray. And then I'd also be interested in your thoughts about Mrs. Geriatrics, because she duffed it completely last time. Whether we see that as an aberration or something else, I'm not sure. But I mean, she was undisputedly the top juvenile.
It's always been a question of whether she'll train on. I liked her behaviour last time at Hollywood Bets Durban, because it was awful at Turfentine when making her reappearance in the Bloodstock South Africa incentive race, but she was still able to win. She galloped here on Sunday before day 1 of the festival, and I think Sean Terry was pleased with the gallop. The draw's not ideal, so it'll be interesting if Richard Fourie is going to ride for luck, or if he's going to send her forward, because those are the options he's got, because being 3 deep this time is obviously not going to aid her chances. Where does she fit in? I don't know. I must confess, I'm leaning towards the other Joburg runner, Silver Sanctuary, over number 13, Mr. Geriatrics. But lots of play. Probably need a lot of numbers in the pick 6.
Yeah, my shortlist was 12, 7, 1, 3, and 13. 13 together with 8. So what's that?
6 runners.
6 runners. And even that might be a bit skinny. But those would be my top picks.
I don't think we can look past, sorry to carry on a little, but Brett wouldn't have supplemented his filly if he didn't think she was worthwhile. So I definitely think that's one to consider.
Something similar when winning the Guineas about a decade ago. Brett supplemented him at the last minute, rated something similar, and came from nowhere to become a Grade 1 winner and subsequently got exported to Hong Kong.
That's yes. And Brett's got a good record in the Fillies Guineas.
Yeah, that's it.
With
Make it snappy.
She suddenly made a dramatic improvement through the summer, and front and centre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also.
So Japanese Rose won nicely last time, raced handy, quickened up well, and it could well be that the official merit rating just underestimates her ability.
Put Just Be Lucky into your trifectas and quartet.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right, race number 8 is the spinner winner slots. Cape Summer Stayers handicap are listed over 2,500 metres. Field of 9 go to post. I'm going to be quite sharp here with Mark and get an opinion out of you. The Stayers ranks are generally quite thin, but this race is you've got to put your thinking caps on here.
Yeah, look, one-way traffic has had me crying into my beer a few times. Let this side down, but I think that he's the one here. He should be able to get the run of the race going handy, and it appears as if he's rounding back into form. I think he bumped a really, really outstanding progressive youngster in stablemate Mucho Dinero last time, and conceding that one 8 kilograms was just too much to expect him to do. So maybe one-way traffic could get the job done. I mean, 518 days since its last win, so probably not one to bet the ranch on. Dangers 4, 5, and 7. Aragosta, a quick turnaround. Otto Laken, and an intriguing one is the stalwart linebacker.
It's first or last for linebacker, isn't it?
Yeah, duck or no dinner.
Right, let's go on to race number 9, the Pamela Isdale Class 3 over 1,200 metres. And here Michelle's got an interesting runner in the form number 13, Elusive Winter, who came back from a long layoff last time. And I like what I saw behind Blue Holly. I think that even though he turned it, the 400 to finish looks like it was the 5th fastest 400 to finish. But I reckon the 200 to finish was blinding. So 13 Elusive Winter, how close to his peak is he this time? Can he be dangerous here?
You know what, he can be dangerous. We had to give him a bit of a break because he just, became so aggressive in work, and we gelded him and hit the reset button with him. I would have probably liked one more run with him, but he's a horse I've always thought a lot of. And Gavin has galloped him before, knows him well enough, and giving him that break has certainly taught him to settle in and just come back to himself a little bit. It is a competitive field, but I think he could be in with a shout.
Did he go to Durban for the winter, or did he stay back here?
He stayed here.
Okay, so he's obviously been one that's got used to the surroundings. Mark, again, a lot of form. Where do you put the runners in race number 9?
Sure. Minefield. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 15 is the not so short list.
Put in 13 as well, if you're going that far. I'm adamant I like what I saw from Elusive Winter last time.
So that's Seeking the One, coming back to form. Hammy's Hero has got his best form down the straight 6 at Kenilworth, talented on his day. USA's Hope, very steady performer. King of the Gauls, impressive up in KZN. Veldskun, also very much in the mix. Yamadori, a pace threat, and has got competitive speed figures. And then Dean Street is a temperamental character, but he can scuttle on his day, and he's been consistent despite some of his mental quirks. It really is a hard one. It's probably the race in the pick 6 where punters should cast as wide a net as possible.
You don't want to fall short in the last. And then on to the 10, the Wilkeborgsdrift Maritzfontein Stud Class 3 for fillies and mares. They go 1,200 metres here, smaller field. Mark, you've got an interest in number 6, or your client, Bryn Race, has got an interest in number 6, Flying First. Nice lightweight. Can she be dangerous?
She could certainly get into the fray. She's been a consistent performer, and she steady at this sort of class level. She comes in with a lightweight, so she could prove competitive, but to me she rates a few lengths inferior to the likes of the Charleston, who is tangled with some of the top juveniles around without being disgraced by any means. And I have immense respect for the up-and-coming VAR filly lady lookalike. So to me, it's between 5 and 2, with 1 Pacific Green as an alternate.
So that is a full stop at the end of the 10-race program. Michelle, just from a trainer's perspective, how much do you look forward to these big Grade 1 days, no matter where they're on the country?
That's it. Listen, it comes with its pressure, but it's always good to see these majestic champions come out. And you know what? It's one thing to watch them in full motion when they're running, but to come down to the parade ring and see them, strut their stuff there, they certainly stand out from the rest, and they know there's a job at hand.
Busy sweets on Saturday?
Yes, it is.
And Mark, from your side, being a race goer, now that the Grade 1s are getting underway here in Cape Town and obviously building to a crescendo when we get to Lomaral, Kings Place and World Sports Betting Cape Meds, and even at the end of February with the Splash Out Cape Derby, I mean, to see this quality really makes the heart warm, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a feast, for the racing cognoscenti and enthusiasts and fans. It's a great summer program, and it's brilliant being able to watch the best horses in South Africa tussling. A lot of fun.
So we thank Michelle and Mark so much for their time here at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth to preview this 10-race marathon, this unbelievable card that's been put together. Obviously, the World Sports Betting Green Point Stakes, well worth the entrance fee, but the Grade 1 World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas, we are going to have a new name in lights lifting that trophy after race number 7 on Saturday afternoon. To you, who's been the viewer, the valued patron of racing, we'll chat to you next time. Enjoy.